Two guys in their early 50s with one dream: to achieve middle-aged sporting glory. This is the Missing Links Golf Show. Yes, we are back at the Missing Links Golf Show, and Andy Walker, I'm super excited tonight to actually talk about golf.
Well, I'm actually super excited to have a working computer, which I haven't had for the last the last week, which is why Pilgrims were a little bit late in the
Yes.
release of this episode. My computer died well about a week ago, and we just haven't been able to record because yeah, computers are quite necessary when you're recording
Definitely
podcasts
helpful.
and stuff.
Definitely helpful. Did you
Yeah.
try turning it off and turning it on again, Andy Walker? I sometimes feel like that helps.
No, because there was an issue with turning it on to be able to then turn it off and turn it on again.
Just turn it off and
So
that was it.
it
Yeah.
it was just black screen.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
yeah,
disappointing.
yeah,
Disappointing.
yeah. And
Uh,
and I won't mention the technology provider, but they haven't been exactly helpful when it comes to providing a
mm,
technician. Even though I have paid for an on-site warranty for them to actually come here and fix my computer, they haven't, which I'm
disappointing.
very unhappy about, as you can imagine.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, given the fact that you're quite a laid back and understanding kind of guy, when things go wrong, I'm sure that would be totally fine. But
Yes.
anyhow, it's not the Missing Links Technology Hour. Um,
No, it's not.
although
It's
maybe it
not.
should be. It's the Missing Links Golf Show.
Yeah.
So yes, we're here tonight, Andy Walker, to talk about some actual golf having been
Yeah.
played, and that,
Oh,
ladies and
I was
gentlemen,
going to say
is
that's
exciting.
not from me, is it?
It's not from you.
So
No,
I don't recall playing golf in recent times, but hey,
no,
yeah.
no, it's not from you. Um, but before we get into it, is there any quick updates? Are we making any progress? Is the chicken
We
sternum
are. We
cartilage
are.
bearing fruit?
I'm
Now
I'm I'm
that's a sentence for you, isn't it?
is should chicken sternum cartilage be bearing fruit or should it be
Oh,
laying eggs?
wow. I don't know. Yeah, either
I mean what comes first? The
chicken or the egg. We've been
the
through
chicken
this.
the chicken sternum cartilage or the
Yeah,
egg?
we've been through this. It's clearly the egg. So
So
anyhow,
yes, it is bearing eggs.
excellent.
I have
It's laying fruit.
it's laying fruit. Um, I've actually been very. It's had a very positive impact so far, and I have been able to get out into the high performance center and hit some full golf shots into the net. Now I've been taking it a little bit easy, so I've been hitting anything from sort of 6 iron down to 8 iron. So I'm not taking the longer clubs because that was sort of really where sort of my wrist started hurting a bit. But yeah, it's handled it quite well. I'm actually not in any pain at all, just in my day-to-day activities. There is still a little bit of discomfort when I'm hitting sort of that sort of 6, 7, 8 iron. However, the actual pain load has actually decreased dramatically. So in between the chicken sternum cartilage, the I've got another magnesium lotion, a new one that I'm rubbing on the area, which has been quite good. Have also started my strength and conditioning regime as well, and lost about 6 kilos over the last few weeks. So
Wow.
that's also had a pretty dramatic impact. So I've gone from 97.9, which was my cracking weight there a few weeks back, and yeah, got jumped on the scales at under 92
Mm.
a couple of days ago. So yeah, all heading in the right direction. So I'm sure that it's not just one thing that's had a impact. I'm sure it's a combination of all of them. But I've got my appointment tomorrow to the functional medicine practitioner. So we'll see what answers she's got in the bag for me.
Well, all in all I can say is that is clucking awesome news.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
So nice work. It will
Yeah.
be good to get you back playing golf in the near future.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I was going to try and get out and play a few holes over, well, over the weekend and then sometime this week, but unfortunately, weather
mm,
events and technology events have precluded me from being able to do that. So maybe next week I might be able to squeeze something in. Not sure if a full round of golf will be in there, but then next month I'm actually heading to Malaysia next month,
ooh,
heading over there for a junket, business junket,
nice. Yeah, taking the
and
clubs.
not taking the clubs, but we are actually having a game while we're there.
Okay.
So I've got to get myself sorted for that round of golf. So that may be my first full round of golf, which will be probably the second week of September.
Yeah, awesome. Very good. Well, there you go. Well, positive news.
Yeah,
And
yeah, all heading in the right direction, which is good.
mm, no, that's exciting. But Andy Walker, a round of golf has taken place recently,
Mm,
which was a little bit, in some respects, unexpected. Um,
yep,
to be honest, I got a message from a couple of the pilgrims who are making a journey to the central western New South Wales town of Orange. Um, Beautiful part of the world for those
beautiful part of the
who've,
world.
who've not been there.
Bit chilly
Uh,
this time of year.
yeah, a bit fresh, bit fresh.
They do get
Certainly,
snow in
we
Orange.
there has been snow this winter.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, there
which
was a photo put on the Facebook group of our front yard in Orange, which was a bit white. So
yes, yes. They
does
they
get pretty
re, re, they renamed the town at that point to White
white.
rather than Orange.
No, no, they didn't
No.
do that. No, but anyway, nice try. It does no, it does get a bit fresh. I mean, it's at around about 1,000 meters of
Mm.
altitude, which
Yep.
in the imperial system, I would say that's about what 3,500 feet
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
roughly. So it is, it's elevated. It's not an enormous elevation, but it's elevated enough to get a little bit of snow in the winter,
Mm.
certainly to get some heavy frosts, but more
Yep.
importantly, to grow some very high quality Shiraz grapes and the like, very much a food and wine town. A couple of really
Mm.
nice golf courses. There's Wentworth Club that we've talked about a few times, and then there's also
Yep.
Duntryleague,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
Duntry's good.
always
I've always enjoyed going to play Duntry.
yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful course. It's kind of it's built on the grounds of an old manor house
Mm.
from I think the best part of 200 years ago now.
Yep.
And it was kind of originally farmland, parkland, kind of a situation. So that the course has got beautiful gardens throughout it and some really nice trees, and the trees are probably its biggest defense in a lot of respects because it's not the longest course; it's past 70, but you don't want to be missing fairways. Otherwise,
Mm.
if you find yourself in some of those big pine trees, you may
Yes.
not come out in a hurry.
Mm.
So
Yes.
it is a place that rewards the straighter player. Um,
Mm.
but at the same time, the fairways are wide enough that it's
Mm.
you can certainly get around it at any level of golf. There's no question about that.
Yeah,
The
it's not
greens,
that long, really. I mean,
it's not
there's a
overly
number of the
long.
par fours where you're hitting just
Mm,
little like flick sort of
mm,
50, 60 meter wedges into. So you can actually put a score together around Duntry if you're playing
if
well.
you're straight,
Yeah, but
and if you
if you're
putt
not,
well,
yeah,
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 you can post a good number. You can also post a very big number. The greens generally are pretty quick and have quite a bit of slope on them. So yeah, you want to be putting relatively well. Or
mm,
again, it's pretty easy to rack up a few three putts around the course. So
yeah,
so that was the day out. We went to Duntry. So a day out at Duntryleague.
excellent.
Thoroughly recommend it if you
Yeah,
haven't done it. And we were rocking up for what I thought was going to be a social round, Andy Walker, just
right.
a bit of
Okay.
a practice round. So
Yep.
um, got to the course, had a little bit of a warm up. Boys arrived. We went into the pro shop, and the guy behind the counter said, "Oh, do you guys want to play in the comp today?"
May
I
as well
said,
have a
sure,
crack.
why
Yeah.
not? Let's do that. Hadn't planned to, but why not? So we played in the comp, which was a lot of fun. So it was on a Monday, so it was not a huge field. I think there was about 50 or 60 in the field, so not
Yep.
kind of your usual weekend competition of 150
Mm.
odd, but
Mm.
nevertheless competitive golf, and that's always fun. So we we were given a tee time at about 20 past 10 off the 10th. So
Okay.
not off one.
Yep.
We played the back
Mm.
nine first. So
Mm.
do you want to hear
10,
how it went?
10,
Anyway,
10, 20. That's quite a civil tea time. Like get
oh, it
up,
was
have a
good.
lazy
Yeah,
breakfast and
yeah. What was really
maybe,
nice is I managed to get up, drop the kids to school, have a coffee, go to the course,
yeah,
bit of a warm up.
very chilled.
It's good. It was nice.
All right. So how'd you go?
Well, let's start at the 10th. We won't start at the first because we started at the
Yeah.
10th. So let's
Yeah.
start at
Yeah.
the 10th.
Well, it's the back nine, isn't it?
It's the back nine, it's the second nine, but it was the first nine. So anyway, we
Mm.
started on 10. So let me see. 10 is a par four, bit of a dog leg left. Kind of hit off a slightly elevated tee, but to a fairway that then rises up. So your landing area is probably not too different to the height where you're teeing off from. Bends around to the left.
So
Um,
were you playing off like frontish tees or were they sort of
no,
back?
no, no. We wouldn't have been playing off front tees. We weren't playing off the plates. We would have been playing what you'd describe as probably the normal members tees,
Yeah,
really.
right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So the whites in this country.
Yep.
So anyway, we started on 10, um, hit a really good drive, continued
Mm.
the recent form with
Yep.
driver in hand, up the right center of the fairway, which was kind of where I wanted to be for angle into the green. Went 254 meters according to ShotScope. So
Nice. Nice.
always happy to get one out over the 250 mark
You
off the
also
first.
you can have a tendency if you're down the right hand side of that fairway, you can run out of fairway. I remember there's a big tree there that has a tendency
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
overhang a little bit if you
If you
just
push it a
sneak
bit
into the
right.
rough there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't do that. That was fortunate. Stayed on the short
Good.
stuff.
Nice. Nice.
So had I was left with just a pitching wedge in. So I thought this is pretty good, and it was a frontish pin.
Yep.
So took dead aim and I hit my pitching wedge into the left bunker again. The old pushing it a little bit left
Mm,
early in the round, which
mm.
was disappointing. We know
Yep.
this has happened a bit of
Yep.
late.
Yep.
So pushed it into the left bunker. Now, what had happened as well here is that about half of the bunkers on the course, they're in the transition which Dubbo made a couple of years ago, moving from the brown river sand into the white championship sand.
All right. Yep. Yep.
And about half the bunkers have been done and about half the bunkers have
Uh,
not been done.
yeah. Right. Okay.
And in fact, a couple of the bunkers were even GUR around the course
Yeah. Right. Okay.
as a result of that
Yeah.
because they'd been empty,
Yeah.
but they hadn't been aligned and filled yet.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep.
bunkers were a little bit iffy. This was a bunker which had been changed over relatively recently, and as a result, you've got like an
Mm,
extremely fluffy, deep,
yep.
thick
Yep.
amount of sand in it. So, um, yeah, so that was a bit interesting. So I kind of chunked it out onto the green, an acceptable bunker shot given the circumstances because it was sitting down quite a bit, but by no means a great bunker shot, and made a two-part bogey.
Yep.
And you walk at a
Yep.
start. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not given the lie. I mean, it's not a bad result. I mean, you do have a tendency just to with those really fluffy lies where there's a lot of sand, you do have a tendency. It's really hard to pick it like you normally would and
yeah,
just take it like a fillet of sand
yeah. No,
as
you've got to get the
as
shovel out
as
and
you
go
would.
digging.
Exactly, exactly. So you do have a tendency to just to chunk, like the
Yeah,
chunk and run out of that sort of lie is probably as good as you can do.
yeah. I mean, I kind of was playing for it anyway, to be honest,
Mm,
because I was expecting I wasn't going to be able to do much else, and out of that sort of a situation, you're not going to spin it. So it was one of those things where you think if I can just get it out onto the shoulder of the bunker and let it roll out towards the pin, it just didn't really
yep.
roll out as far as I
Mm,
thought it would. So I
mm,
was left with
mm.
probably about an 8 footer or something like that for par, which almost dropped. but didn't. So it was
Yep.
bogey. So anyway,
Mm.
so that's okay. A little bit frustrating, I think, when you got a pitching wedge in hand from, sort of about 115, 120 meters out in the center of the fairway.
Yep.
It's annoying to miss the green at that
Yeah.
point, but
Yeah, it is. But happens.
such is life.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
move on.
Even the PGA Tour pros, they miss greens
I
with
know,
wedges.
don't they? Don't they? So that was okay. So anyway, no damage done, but we made bogey, so plus one after one. We then moved on to the 11th. So the second hole, the 11th hole on the course, which is par three,
Yep.
playing about 160 meters. So what's that
Mm.
about? Between 175 to 180 yards, something like that. So I took 6 iron and hit a pretty solid 6 iron, but just drifted into the left bunker once again.
Oh, nice. Nice. Two in a row. Two out of
Yeah,
two.
I
Well
was feeling
done.
pretty happy about things at this point. Um, and got up there, and it was another one of those freshly
Yep.
refilled bunkers. And
Yep.
it wasn't a fried egg, but it wasn't far off it.
Yep. Yep.
So sitting down pretty nicely. Um, wasn't a bad spot to be though, because the green kind of ran away from the bunker a bit because of the shoulder, and the pin was on the far
Mm.
side. So
Mm.
I had
Yep.
green to work with if I could, kind of just again really play a chunk and run. Bit of a high lip on it though, and I didn't get enough sand. I caught a lot of ball in
Yeah,
Yorker,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it hit the top of the lip of the
Oh
bunker,
no, no.
and it went up in the air,
Yeah,
came down, and kind of ricocheted off the shoulder of the bunker to the back edge of the green. So
right. Yeah,
I'm going to say could have gone anywhere.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
And
probably,
and that and that's the thing with those sort of lies, you're probably or you're trying to hit it just a little bit harder. So
yeah,
then to catch one skinny when
yeah.
when you're trying to put a bit more heat on it, that's not going to end well. So yeah,
It
you
just
probably got a bit fortunate.
it was hard in mouth moment there.
Of course,
But I was,
there's out of bounds on that other side of the. If you go far enough, there's
oh
the
yeah,
road.
yeah.
Yeah,
If it missed the lip,
yeah,
it was not a good outcome.
yeah,
So
yeah. What
like
was
it was
what's that? The Newell Highway? Is that the Newell Highway that goes
no,
down
no,
that way?
no, no. It's that one. It's the Mitchell Highway that runs along the other
Oh,
boundary.
Mitchell
That
Highway.
that
Yep.
one that one's the Escort Way, I think it is, that runs along
Yeah.
there, which
Right.
takes you off towards Cargo, Canowdra, that sort of direction. Um,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
next to
my
it's next to a Whoop Whoop, isn't it?
it's not far away. Um, so anyway, I was at the back. I was at the back edge. I was quite a long way from the pin
Mm.
at this point, and for two, and I hit a pretty good lag putt, good speed. It was a back
Yep.
fringe, so part of that good speed. It wandered off to the left a little bit. I probably would have been about 45 feet away to start with. So hit good speed, ran about pin high, wandered off to about 5 feet to the left of the hole, and then managed to just shove the putt to the left of the hole for a
Mm.
3-putt double,
Mm.
which
Mm.
kind of technically a 2-putt double because I was off on the fringe for the first one. But um, mm,
Feeling good?
look, kind of go 3 over after two. It's not a great
Yep.
start, is it?
No, no. And I mean, you haven't done too much wrong. I mean, yeah, yeah, you
Hadn't
haven't hit
I
either
hadn't hit
green.
I hadn't hit good bunker shots really,
Yeah, yeah.
but I kind of chalked that up a little bit to being in some relatively average bunker conditions as well.
Mm,
But in
mm.
fairness, should have done better with that one. Hadn't had a putt drop, missed both greens with both approaches. That was probably the
Yep.
biggest sin.
Mm, mm.
But I was okay. I was
Okay.
not getting frustrated. I was like, no,
Well,
it's okay. These things happen.
you've recovered from a worse start and shot a good score.
True,
Not
true,
that long ago.
true. That is true. Um, so we move on to 12. I don't know if you remember 12, but 12 is a par four, dog legs
Mm,
around to the right,
yeah.
goes uphill to the green.
Yeah, and at that
Um,
green is just, you get above the hole in that
it's
green and
brutal.
it is just absolutely brutal.
It's brutal.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so stood up on the tee and I flushed my driver, but probably was a bit aggressive on the line, thinking I could get over the edge of the corner, like not trying to carry any trees, but trying to carry the
Yep.
rough.
Mm, mm.
Bounced in the rough, and as a result, just stopped. Like
Yeah,
the
right.
Cooch fairways
Yep.
at Duntry, if you hit the fairways, you get good run,
Yep.
but in
Yep.
the rough, it's just like Velcro. So the ball pulled up. And what that meant was then my second shot was a little bit blocked out by the trees up the right hand side
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
dog leg.
Yep.
I
Yep.
hadn't quite got far enough to get a clear shot. Um, so anyway, I had to hit a 9 iron to sort of just short of the front edge. Hit a good shot. I was hoping that I could have been able to pull it around the corner a little bit, and as a result, potentially go a little bit further than normal. I didn't want to hit an 8 iron up there because if I went a little bit too far, then it would run into some trouble with another bunker and a tee
Mm.
box and would be pretty ugly. So anyway, it was actually a sensible play. Hit the 9 iron. I was on the short grass, just short left of the green. Pitched on. You might recall that green's pretty heavily sloping back to front as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, it
So
is.
pitched on,
Mm.
and the ball just hit and stopped. Just went
Yep.
and zipped and stopped. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
that was
There's been
probably
more.
about.
Yeah, there's been more than once where I've played Duntry where I've hit it in the middle of the fairway and hit a really good shot into the middle of the flag and it's jagged back off the front.
Oh, on that
Because
hole, absolutely, yeah,
yeah, because
yeah,
it's got that much slope on it that if you've
yeah,
got any sort of spin on it, it's just going to come back and pretty much come off the front
yeah,
of the green. So it's
yeah,
yeah, you've got to make sure that you flight a second shot in there
yeah.
without too much spin. So that's one of those shots that I sort of showed you how to play in
And
the
that's
Macquarie
exactly what you
Cup.
need. That's
Yeah,
exactly what you need
yeah,
on that
that
hole.
is
Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
So taking the spin off. Um, and look, with this pitch, what I tried to do was kind of roll it out up towards the pin. What I should have done was pretty much fly it the whole way,
Yep.
and it would have hit and stopped anyway. So I was left with
Mm.
around about probably about an 18 to 20 footer,
Yep.
which will surprise you to hear that I did not make and tapped in for bogey to then go +4 after three.
Mm. Mm.
Andy
How you
Wood
feeling at this stage?
enjoying the weather. It was a beautiful day.
Nice, nice.
But no, it was okay because it was one of those things. Like on that hole in particular, I hadn't really hit a bad shot.
Yep.
I got slightly too aggressive with my line with my driver. That was a course management error, not a ball striking or a swing error.
Yep.
But had made a really good decision with my second and executed it
Mm.
well.
Mm.
Hit a reasonable pitch, just probably misjudged the landing spot,
Yep.
and then you know made what you would expect as a putt from there.
Yep.
You're not expecting to one putt from about 20 feet very often.
No. No.
So it wasn't like the scoring wasn't great at this point, but there wasn't a major cause for alarm.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't sound like you've done too much wrong at that stage. I mean, yeah,
Just
four
writing
over
down the
after
wrong
three.
numbers. That's all,
Yeah. Yeah.
really. And that's golf sometimes.
Mm.
So we moved to 13. So 13 is a pretty straight par four, um, decent par
Tight,
four,
tight,
tight,
very tight. Mm.
tight for driver. If you laid back with, say, a fairway wood or something like that, it's a little bit more room, or for shorter hitters, there's a little bit more room. But yeah, relatively tight up there for driver. So nevertheless, hit a good drive, and got another good one out there onto the short grass, sort of up the right side of centre. I was left with about 150 to what was a front pin.
Yep.
Um, you don't want to go long on this hole because if you go long, it drops away over onto sort of towards out of bounds actually. So you don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
really don't want to be long. So I hit 150. That's in meters. So what's that? 165 ish yard. So I hit a 7 iron, which was pretty much on the flag most of the way, and it pitched just short of the green on a little upslope into the green, so I finished just short, which was a pretty good result. Texas wedge up and down for par. Andy Walker,
Nice.
no stress, was tapping par. Very nearly made the birdie putt actually from just short of the green. But that was good. That was a good comeback. So I felt like that was a pretty solid hole.
Yep. Yep. And that's a tough hole. That's probably out of the first four holes, I reckon that's probably the toughest
Probably is.
of
Oh, the one before actually, I reckon it's probably a bit harder just because of the
yeah.
green.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always found that 13 is probably harder than 12.
It's
I've had it to,
unforgiving for driver. That's the problem.
yeah.
If you don't
And
find the short grass, you're in a lot of trouble.
yeah. And in recent years, my driver hasn't really been behaving that well. So
Yeah,
yeah, I've struggled with that hole.
yeah, yeah. So then we move on to 14. Now, 14, I don't know if you remember 14, but it's that
Short par
short,
four.
it's a very short
Mm.
par four,
Yep.
a little bit of a dog leg around to the right,
Yep.
with the postage stamp of a green,
Yep.
heavily protected by two very large
Yep.
bunkers with enormous shoulders
Yep.
and water behind the green.
Yep. Been in all of them.
So, and I mean, I know this hole. I've played this course on a number of occasions, so I know this hole,
Yeah.
and I'd been thinking about this hole in the lead up to the course, and I thought what I would do, because what I should say is I actually put in my bag, um, just to fill a gap, because I've always only had the 13 club since I've moved to the five to pitching wedge
Yep.
with the Callaways, and then the four hybrid and the 5 wood driver. Um, but I put in the bag for this round my old 4 iron from my TaylorMade M4s,
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
because I'd hit it a few times, just in the high performance center, and it was
Mm.
coming off really nicely. And I
Yeah.
thought
Right.
I might just chuck it in the bag,
Mm. Mm.
as a driving iron,
Yep.
because Dustin Johnson some years back actually used a TaylorMade M4 as a driving iron randomly. So I
Excellent. Mm.
thought why not?
You were calling your inner Dustin. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, potentially not. Anyway, so I had that in the bag, and I had been thinking in the lead up to getting to this hole before the round. I'd been thinking on this hole, the four iron kind of driving iron, that's probably a good club for this tee
Mm.
box, because
Mm.
that would leave you then maybe about 90 to 100 in,
Yeah. Yeah. I
because
think with that hole, you've either got to come back with like a four iron or a 5 iron, or you just take drive and go at it. I don't think you can hit like a three or a two on or a fairway up there. It's just it's in between. It's I think you've got to either really go for it or hit a 4 or 5 iron up the fairway. Yeah, I think they're your
yeah,
two options.
yeah. I mean, as you know, you have to, on that one, you have to turn the ball left to right around those trees to get to
Yep,
the green. If you're going to take it on, you can't just hit a straight ball.
yep,
So the other two boys, they both took, I think they took fairways and put it into the left trees
yep, yep.
and missed
And
the
and
fairway.
that's always going to happen if you and that's what I said. Like that nothing shot. And those trees in between 14 and the 17th green, I've been in them a number of times and
Yeah,
it
and
is
it's not ideal.
thick in there.
Yeah,
It is really thick.
yeah. So I saw them play, and play what you might call the sort of the sensible play, because both of them were saying, oh, it's not a driver hole. So, and I'd been planning not to hit driver. So, and I saw them play and it didn't work out. So I went, I'm actually going to play driver now,
Mm. Yep.
because I think maybe that's the play. And to be honest with you, it's my most accurate longer
Yep.
club at this
Mm.
point.
Mm.
So I pulled driver. It was 275 to the front edge.
Yep.
Was was the whole. Oh, actually, no, it was 275 to the center. Lie, 275 to the center. So I pulled driver, um, smoked it. So you can't really see the outcome. I could see it turning
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit left to right.
Yep. Yep.
Saw it bounce. Going, all right, I should be up there, thereabouts somewhere.
Yep. Yep.
Now, those two front bunkers
Mm.
at the front of the green, there's, I would say, maybe 6 feet between them.
Yep. Yep.
get down there. My ball has pierced that gap perfectly, sitting right between
Nice.
both of those bunkers, just short of
Nice.
the green,
Nice.
um, which was good. The other two boys then proceeded to blade their second shots into the water behind the green. So that was
See, and that's what
yeah,
I'm like the fairway up on that hole
it's
is a
nasty. And you're playing
it's
downhill at that green too.
it's a nothing shot. As I said, you've either
Mm.
got to if you're going to lay back, you got to lay back and do it properly with a 4 or 5 iron, or you take driver.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we were sitting. I was then standing there, and I thought I had a little bit of a like the grass in between those two bunkers then was a little bit scraggly as it
Mm,
sometimes can be
mm,
around the
mm.
edges of the greens. In particular areas where you get cold weather. I didn't
Yep,
really want to chip it because the risk with chipping is flubbing or thinning.
yep, yep.
So I thought I'll putt. It was always going to be difficult to get close to the pin with a putt because the two shoulders of the bunkers, and the more you went in one direction, or it's going to
Mm,
break.
mm, mm.
So anyway, I putted on. I probably putted to about 10 feet. Just missed the birdie putt. Tapped in for par.
Easy par,
So
stress free though.
yeah, all in all, not too bad. So what are we sitting? We're still what 4 over now
Mm,
after 5 holes.
mm.
So coming back, it's not all bad. Made a couple of pars in a row. That's good.
Nice.
So yeah, so then we move on to 15.
Yep.
So 15 is
Strong
the
par
par
four.
four, long par
Mm,
four. It'd be
mm.
one of the stroke 1 or 2 holes on the course, I would imagine.
Yep. Yep.
You need to get a good drive away, and then you still need to hit a good second. Like to be perfectly honest, because it's tough. And the pin on this one, do you remember the green is a 2-tiered green? Like that's got
Yep.
that really big
Yep.
step between the front tier and the back tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Back tier, it's kind of a smallish area, guarded by that bunker that fills in the gap in the sort of the middle of the front of the green. And the pin was on that top area just over that bunker.
Yep.
So it was not an easy one to get at. So you need a good
Mm.
drive. So I hit my worst drive probably of the last month.
Yeah. Right.
Smother pull hook into the right trees.
Oh, yeah. That's not good.
Was not happy about that at all. I had to punch a 7 iron out from under the trees and left myself about 70 meters to the pin,
Yep.
which was a pretty good sand wedge number, to be perfectly honest, which I hit. I thought I was all over it. It came up short into that front bunker,
Oh.
uh,
Okay. Mm.
which was not ideal, but that bunker was GUR. So it was a
Right.
drop. It was a drop
Bonus.
out of the bunker,
Mm.
um, which I then chipped on, didn't make the putt. So it was a 2-putt double.
Mm. Mm.
That was disappointing.
Mm. So back to
Um,
even bogeys.
yeah, so 6 over after 6. So
Mm.
anyway, what can you do? So we then move on to 16. So 16 is a par five,
Yep.
which there's a fairway bunker kind of at about driver-ish length off the tee. Then a big downhill and uphill back at the back to the green. So and we are, at this point we had well and truly caught up to the group in front who were creating a few delays at
Mm.
this stage.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. So is there still that rough area in like
yeah,
halfway?
yeah.
Yeah. So you
So your fairway
you're
runs out.
yeah, the fairway effectively runs out, and there's an area of just rough
Yeah.
that and if you're a long hitter, you can actually knock it through the fairway and into this rough area, which isn't too bad. I have actually hit it through the fairway and been in that rough area, and you still get a reasonable lie. So it's not something that you'd sort of take a fairway off the tee or anything to not hit it into the rough. But it's just a bit weird and one of those split fairways where you've got your
Mm.
driver landing area and then you've got your, about 50 yards it probably is before the fairway starts again.
So it may interest you to know that I knocked my drive through the fairway into exactly that patch of rough that you're talking about,
It's always a danger, always a danger. Yeah.
which was okay.
Yeah.
It's like you say, it's not too bad.
Yeah. It's not
So
something that you're going to lay up from.
no, 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 no. although, given that the group in front, as I mentioned, were a little bit slow at this point, we got up to the ball, par five, and and they were still, mucking around just short of the green and then on the green, and let the other two boys hit because they'd gone sort of a little bit right.
Yep.
So they punched one up closer to the green, and then I was standing there with friend of the show, Alex, that was also in the group, standing there, and
Yep.
said, look, I was about 205 to the front edge.
Yep.
And I said, look, it's really on the limit of where I'm going to get a 5 wood.
Yep.
Um, so, and I want to try and hit the green. So I feel like I should wait. And he said, don't be silly. You're never getting there. You're never getting there. And if you do, we can shout for and it'll only be rolling anyway. So it's not a big deal.
So in this situation, what's the likely outcomes, right? And one, you wait for them and you're going to cold top it like 50 yards down the fairway. If you stand up and hit it while they're still on the green, you're going to absolutely stripe it at them and,
Mm,
and almost hit
mm,
them.
mm.
Like they're the only two
They're the only
outcomes
two
here.
outcomes.
Yeah.
Correct. So I thought, and I was thinking about that, and I thought, should wait because I don't want to kill anyone. So I waited for the guy to putt out, but he wasn't the last one to putt out. So then his mate starts
Yeah.
aim pointing his way around the green. And at this point, I thought,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to hit. Alex, you're right. I'm never going to
Yeah.
get there. See if I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
I got there.
Striped it.
Absolutely smoked it
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
green for two.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Always going to
sorry,
happen.
sorry, gents. Didn't think I could get there. He
Oh,
said I'd never be able to get there.
yeah.
So anyway, but we got there. So that was good. So I was on for two, and yeah, made a solid par. So that was
Wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Excellent. It's consistent at least. Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
It was the one that got away. But anyhow, but look, it's okay. Par's par. Par's par. There's nothing wrong with the par.
Mm.
The tap in par. So we go to the 17th, or our eighth. 17. It's par three.
Yep.
It was playing about 155 over the lake, up a little bit of a hill, to an
Tough green
elevated green.
too. Like that green slopes a lot.
It does.
That's one of the slopiest greens on the course.
It does. It does. Front pin.
Mm.
So hit a 6 iron to the front edge, just then sucked slightly back off the front edge. So Texas wedge again, and same result. Almost went in, tap in par. Um, so we move to the ninth hole or the 18th hole. Still 6 over. So it's not too bad actually. With
Mm.
two
Yeah,
doubles,
yeah. Yep.
no birdies at this point. And the 18th hole actually is the stroke one, as it turns out.
Oh, well, there you go. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, 18 is a tough hole as well. I mean, you've got,
yeah,
and it's really, see, and I know 12 isn't one of your favorites, but I've always found that those three holes being 13, 15 and 18, they're really the
they're
three,
tough.
yeah, the three
They're
tough
tough
ones.
holes
Yeah.
for sure. And I think the hard part about 18, it's a narrow driving target because you've got to cut the corner if you're going to hit driver.
Mm,
And
mm.
if you go right, you've got the driving range
Yep.
out there, which you
Yep.
don't want to mess with.
Yep.
And if you go left, it's just a
Yeah.
jungle.
It's
Um,
it's you got
so
no hope. It's pitch
so
out sideways.
yeah, so you really got to be accurate with your driver. So anyway, good news. I was accurate with my driver and
Excellent.
hit a good drive. Finished up the right side of the fairway. Hit a reasonable 7 iron to just a safe 7 iron to the center of the green. But this green, the pin was right at the back left corner, and it was brutal. Like
Yep.
I hit a putt, and I thought I'd made it. I was probably 35 feet away though. In fairness, I thought I'd made it. It almost fell in the front edge of the hole,
Mm, mm.
then stopped and rolled about 4 feet back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Um,
Mm.
Fortunately, made par after
Yep.
that. But I watched the other two guys in the group that were
Mm.
playing a little bit more across the green than what I was, pretty much straight up the green.
Yep.
And they hit putts that literally stopped at the hole and like kind of just got past the hole and then finished
Mm.
15 feet
Yeah.
away,
Wow.
rolled
Mm.
down the hill. It
Mm.
was one of those, and there were a couple of moments like this on the course, and this would be a piece of feedback I would give to Duntryleague, that whilst I love a fast green and the greens were rolling true, there are certain times and certain pin placements where you just can get too quick, and I think this was one
Yep.
of them.
Yeah. Right.
That
Yep.
it was, you couldn't lag it to the hole.
Mm.
Like, these guys, they pretty much did that and hit what I would have thought was a perfect putt, and it
Mm.
just rolled and rolled and rolled and was like 15, 20 feet away,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I
Yep.
think it's not really in the spirit
Mm. Mm.
of club golf, and definitely
Yep.
not in the spirit of speed of play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's also it's a very deceptive green when you're hitting from the fairway because you hit a what you think is a decent shot into the green, and because
Yeah, it's a long way uphill.
it's a long way uphill, you
Yeah,
think you're pin high and you get up there and you're like 25, 30 feet short of the
yeah,
flag.
yeah.
So it's just one of those holes that is quite deceptive, and but you'd rather be that 25, 30 feet
You
short of
can't
the
be
hole
past it.
than
You
than
can't be
past it.
past it. You cannot be
So
past it.
so it's yeah, it is quite tricky
Yeah,
your approach shot in there.
yeah. So to be honest, making a par on that hole, I was pretty happy with that. Like you
Yeah.
take a par and you go
Oh
to the week
yeah.
and run for the hills. I should mention though, I forgot to mention that you might remember back on 15 with playing partner Alex encouraging me to hit a 5 wood towards the group in front. So on this hole, Alex had the honor on the tee and pumped his drive over the heads of
Excellent.
the same group. So
Yeah.
it won't surprise you to know that as we finished the 18th, it was the ninth for us, it was the ninth for them as well. They very kindly turned around and said, "Hey, would you guys like to play through us on the next time?"
But for our own safety.
And we went, "Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank
Yeah.
you."
Excellent.
And I should mention that that first nine took 2.5 hours
Yeah, wow.
to get around.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
After being allowed to play through these guys, the second nine took 1.5 hours.
That's wonderful. Mm.
So I'm
Yeah.
glad they let us through. Thanks, gents. It was appreciated.
Yeah. There is a couple of YouTube videos going around in regards
Yeah, there
to
are. There are.
slow play and
Yeah,
people not being overly happy with slow play. So, did you ever feel as though that was coming out when they're
not a chance.
not a chance? No?
Not a chance. I was enjoying the weather.
Excellent.
It was fun.
Excellent. Yeah.
But
So what,
anyway, we moved
six over the front nine, yeah?
six over, which from
With two
Stableford
doubles.
perspective, yeah, six over with two doubles from a Stableford perspective was 17 points at the turn.
Okay. Yep.
So not too bad, actually.
Yeah, because I mean I do find that the back nine is probably a little bit tougher than the
Yeah,
front nine. I
I think
feel
so.
as though there's more scoring opportunities on the front nine than what there is on the back nine. There's, as I said, there's quite a there's three or four really tough par fours where you've got
Mm.
to get your drive away. Otherwise, yeah, making par is going to be tough. Whereas the front nine, I feel as though, yeah, you've got more opportunity, especially if you get through sort of the first four or five holes of the front nine, and then sort
Mm.
of that sort of little stretch. What is it? Five, six, seven. Those is it? Might be.
So
I
five,
think no,
six,
actually, I think it's five and six are the two
seven,
path.
seven's the par three going
Yeah,
down.
yeah. It's five and six. I think are quite reasonable
Yeah.
birdie opportunities.
Yes. So let's get into the front nine slash second
Mm,
nine. So the first hole, to be honest with you, it's a tough hole.
yeah.
So it's a long par four, and you've got OB all the way up the right side, some nasty trees up the left side, a little bit of a dog leg left, but you're driving from an elevated tee box once
Mm,
again, but to a fairway that then rises up to meet you.
Yep.
So your landing zone is generally into an upslope. And if you don't get far enough, you'll be hitting blind over the hill to the green
Mm,
down the hill.
mm, yep.
So it's not the easiest hole, and it's a bit of a nasty green too. So there's a fair bit to take on one. I hit a good drive, but just missed the fairway into the left rough. Not blocked out or anything like that, but
Yep.
just bit of a scraggly lie in the
Yeah.
left rough.
But it's not a bad place to be. I mean, you can then sort of hit to the right side of the green, and it generally speaking sort of bounces, and even just off the right hand side of the green there. I've been on the right hand side of the just in the rough there, and it's not, even though you've got a downhill chip, it's not
It's not the
ugly.
worst. It's not the
Yeah.
worst. What I noticed though was playing a course that, look, I haven't played Duntry in, I reckon, 3 years
Yep.
since the last time we played the Hunt Open out there.
Yep.
Um, I wasn't really clear on my lines off the tee, like where my aiming
Mm,
point should be on some of the
okay.
dog legs.
Yep.
So it happened on 12, and it happened again here on one where I bit off more than I should have because I just wasn't sure exactly where my landing spot would be.
Yep. Yep.
Which is why I was left in the rough because I hit the drive pretty much exactly on the line that I had aimed it.
Mm, mm.
It was a bit too aggressive to the dog leg. So I was left with about a 5 iron. I hit a 5 iron down, which I hit what I thought was a good 5 iron. I didn't want to go long. Obviously, you don't want to go long on this hole, so kind of coming up a club short,
Yep.
thinking that you're going to bound down the hill a little bit towards the green. But like you say, it all feeds sort of right to left there. So whilst I'd aimed it, more or less at the green or the left side of the green, it's bounced to the left. Don't know if you recall, but short of the green, there's an old filled-in grass bunker
Yep. Yep.
in the rough. So
Mm,
it was in that, but it was in the sort of the downslope of that. So it was a
okay.
bit of a nasty little pitch,
Yep.
which I stood over feeling all sorts of lack of confidence,
Yeah, right.
and actually shanked it,
Oh, okay.
which was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. And it went into, there was like a little garden with bushes and a tree that had been half chopped down to the left of the green.
Yeah, right.
And it went in
I,
there.
I don't even know where that would be. I have no recollection of being
It's
anywhere
not
near
good.
that.
It was
Can
not good.
imagine.
I could get a club on it though, which was fortunate, but only like a
So
seven
is that
iron.
is that is that sort of near the eighth tee?
Yeah, it is. It's exactly
Yeah,
where it is.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's just the
Yeah.
back of that. Yeah. Yeah, so it wasn't good. I was really fortunate though that I could actually get a bit of a stance and get a 7 iron on the back of the ball, which I just hit a bump and run, and it's quite uphill there to the
Mm,
green. The green is quite elevated,
yep.
so I got it up onto the green. I wanted to make sure I got it on the green, so it went about 15 feet past the hole, but that was okay because at least I was putting. But it was a two-putt double, so it was another double, which was disappointing. So it
Yep.
took me to 8 over after 10.
Yep.
Mm,
Not ideal.
mm. Wasn't very happy with making double there,
Can
but
understand that.
that's okay. That's okay. We move on. So we then move to the second hole. Two is
Par
par
five.
five, par
Mm,
five. Kind of straight, but snakes a bit.
yep. Yeah.
Um,
It's a little bit
so
tight as well.
Yeah, so you want to you don't want to be right off the tee
Mm,
because then you're absolutely blocked out for your second, and you
yep.
have to just sort of hit about a 9 iron to the corner
Mm,
so that you've got
mm,
probably an 8 iron or something into the green. So you kind of want to be left side of the fairway if possible, and it is reachable in two if you do that. But get past, there's a big eucalypt on the corner on the left hand side,
yep.
which had a big catcher's mitt on it and caught all three of our tee
Yeah,
shots.
right. Yep.
Every single one of us, we went in the same spot. Um, but it wasn't too bad because dropped straight down. So I actually had a line, cost about 20 or 30 meters distance, but still had a line. So this was the moment of glory for the M4 4 iron driving
Nice.
iron off a
Nice.
bare patch. The reason I picked to use it was off a bit of a stony bare patch lie. So I thought I'll use the old club and not one of the new ones. Um, Actually hit it really well, and it left me about probably 80 meters out.
Yep.
So nice gap wedge distance, which I hit a gap wedge on, but came up probably about 20 feet short. So simple two-putt par, which
Stress
was
free.
okay.
Mm.
It was stress-free. Yeah, it was a tap in.
So
So,
back to bogey start effectively.
well, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, which is okay.
Yep.
So then we move on to the third hole. Now, third hole's a good hole, but it's kind
Mm.
of it's tough
Mm.
because just basically because that green runs heavily left to right. So the third hole's a dog leg right. It's not the longest hole going around. A good drive. You kind of hit your drive a little bit blind. There's a rise in the fairway, but it is a pretty generous landing area. You hit a good drive, and you'll probably be, I don't know, a pitching wedge or something like that to the
Yeah.
green.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I've always hit a fairway off that tee
yeah,
just because if you
can
go
run out.
and yeah, anything sort of left side of the fairway, you're going to run
Can
out
run out.
of room with a driver. So I find just hitting a fairway and generally speaking, it's a fairway and either a 9 iron or a wedge
Yeah,
into the green. So that's how I've always played that hole.
yeah. So I took driver
Excellent.
and hit a nice. Actually, had hit a nice tight little draw. I hit my best drive of the day. Shot scope measured it out at 267 meters.
Nice. Nice.
Andy Walker, and it was on. To turn the corner a little bit, but it was still on the left side, so it gave me a good line because the pin was right tucked behind that bunker. There's a right
Mm.
bunker on the right hand side. It was
Yep.
over on
Yep.
that area. I hit a gap wedge actually aggressively just right of that pin.
How far were you to the flag after you drive?
I was
So with a
about
gappy, you'd have to
70, was
yeah.
about 70 meters out.
Yeah, I was going to say 70 or 80, yeah, because you're hitting a 267 meter drive. You're not going to have a 9 iron or a wedge in your hand. You're going to
No,
be a lot closer
no,
than that.
I hit my 52-degree gap wedge, the
Mm.
higher lofted of the two. Yeah, just right of the pin. I was probably about, I reckon, 12 to 15 feet, but below the hole,
Yep,
and drained the putt. Andy Walker,
excellent.
bird time.
First bird of the day.
It'd been a long time coming because there were a few opportunities that I'd let slip at this
Mm.
stage.
Yep,
But
yep.
that was nice. So that was good to get it back there to
Go back to
par
7 over.
three, seven over.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
At this point, so we move on there to the fourth hole. The fourth hole is a long par three. It was playing 190 meters.
Mm. So just before you go on at this stage, so you've turned 17 points.
Mm,
Then what 1 point on the first,
yeah,
2 points on the second,
yeah,
and was it three
and
or did you get that was a four
that,
pointer?
that was a 4 pointer. Yeah,
4 pointer. Okay, so at this stage you're 2 shots in front of your handicap.
yeah.
Okay. How are you feeling? Were you aware of it or were you just
No,
focused on
no, I wasn't bothered to
mm,
really do the maths on it at this
yep.
point.
Okay.
Um,
Good.
we'll get to that.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I'm getting ahead of myself, am I?
Yeah, but no, because and I will digress a little bit on this. What I was actually very, very happy with on this round of golf was staying in the shot and
Yeah.
not time traveling, not worrying about how the round was going. And that went, but that cut both ways. That was not getting upset about bad holes, just
Mm, mm.
letting it go, moving on, focusing on the next shot, but then also not getting ahead of myself at times like this when I sort of clawed my way back into a good position. I
Yeah, yeah.
really, it's probably the best I've done it, I reckon.
Yeah, because it sounds like you sort of you didn't get off to the best start. You've clawed your way back. Then on the back nine, you haven't got off to the best start. And this after the bird on three, it sounds like this is the first time you're actually in front of the game rather
Oh yeah,
than
that's
sort of
right.
chasing.
That's right. But what I was really looking at doing was just trying to make pars.
Yeah.
That's really all I
Yeah.
was kind of interested in, just to play decent golf shots and make pars was kind
Mm.
of the goal. I wasn't too worried about what the score might end up at the end of the round. That was
Yep.
it's easy to say that, but and often
Mm,
I struggle to do that. But on this particular day, I
mm.
actually feel like I did that really well.
Yeah. So what then was the focus? Did you have a particular focus on like just staying present or just
Yeah, it
like
was exactly that.
yeah,
It was exactly that. It was about
mm, and just
it was
letting it unfold.
it was don't worry about the round. Really focus on making a decision about what shot you want to play with every shot that you're playing. So,
Mm.
the think box, play box that we've talked
Yep.
about a lot.
Yep. Yep.
Because quite often where I, might let myself down mentally will be stepping into a shot without having really thought it through and planned it and committing to what I was trying to do, but just autopilot through the shot. And
Mm.
I think a lot of people are guilty of that at times.
Yep.
But to actually concentrate and go, what am I going to do here? Commit to a shot, including a shape, a target, specific landing spot, a ball flight and shape. Visualize that, hit it, and then accept the result and move on.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that was what I was trying to achieve. And I think I
Yeah.
did that well.
Yeah. So as
Um,
we were talking about a bit earlier today, during one of our phone calls, I've been listening to the Golf Beneath the Surface
mm,
podcast, which I found to be really really good, and they talk about being on time,
yeah, I
which is
love that phrase.
which is effectively being in the present,
Yeah,
and not time traveling,
yeah,
which they term off time. So they
yeah,
talk about being on time and being off time, and that's
yeah,
either playing out what potentially may happen a few holes down the track, or ruminating on what's happened and getting frustrated that you've made three doubles and potentially that could have you could have
100%.
been in a better position. So being on time, I think at this point, especially when you start getting in front of the game and you might start feeling a bit nervous and you don't want to protect a good score, but certainly you want to be able to just let the round unfold naturally
Mm.
and trust that you've got the game to keep going. Being on time is, I think, is a critical part of that.
It absolutely is. I think it is equally as important when you've had a few bad holes as what it is when you're playing good golf. It's the
Yeah.
same thing, just in opposite ends.
Yeah.
On one, you can either start to negatively spiral about, worrying about all the things, the mistakes that you've made and how bad the round might end up. And then the other one is, getting delusions of grandeur and getting excited about how well the round might end up when
Mm.
you haven't done it
Yeah.
yet. Like,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think in the conversations we had with Josh Nichols as well, he talked about this of going, it's the feeling of having something to lose when you're
Yeah.
playing good golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his point is, you don't have anything,
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
have a good,
I don't want to mess up a good round. Well,
you
you
don't
actually
have the good
you
round
don't
yet.
have exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have
Yeah.
14 good holes, but you don't have a
Yes.
good round.
Yeah. Yeah. You have the good round when you make your last putt on the 18th hole.
Yeah.
Like
And
that's
at
when you
which
have your
point
good
it's,
round.
and then it's very difficult to mess it up from there. Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, so it's all those things. But yeah, to come back to the point, I do think of everything that I did on this day, the ability to stay on time and focus on each shot for what that shot was worth. I think that's the thing I did best,
Yep.
throughout the
Yep.
round, and
Good.
certainly had been doing that to this point.
Mm.
It obviously gets more challenging as you get closer to the end. So the fourth hole, yeah, long par three, playing 190 meters. So that's, what's that, 210 yards or so.
Yeah. Yeah. Tough par
Um,
three.
it is a tough par three, and again, it's a two-tiered green, a really steep transition
Mm.
between the front part and the back part. The
Yeah.
pin was on the second tier up high. I hit the 4 iron, my pseudo driving iron. Um,
Yep.
I hit that again, and I hit it well, and it hit the front edge of the green. Just rolled back into the fringe, but it was in good shape, and hit a putt that did get up onto the second tier, but only just got up onto the second
Mm.
tier. So I was left with
Mm.
about a 7 footer for par, and I made the par.
Excellent.
So that was good.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah. So was that effectively a one putt, or was it were you
It
just
would
off the
count.
fringe?
Yeah, it would count as a one putt. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Good.
yeah. So it would count as another Texas wedge up and down, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Three for in the round. So then we move on to the fifth hole. Now, the fifth hole is that very straight par four,
Mm.
where you need to hit your driver through the footy goalposts
Yep.
to get it up there. Now, because we weren't playing the championship tees, that was a lot less daunting than what it normally would be.
Mm.
Those trees were more or less out of play. But it's it's a shortish par four. It's a very
It
gettable
is.
par four.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
so I hit a really good drive up the left side of the fairway and hit a sand wedge onto the green, caught it a groove or two thin. So I was at the back of the green to a front pin,
Oh. Mm.
which unfortunately Andy Walker resulted in a three-putt bogey.
Mm. It's a bit disappointing. A couple of three putts thrown in.
Yeah, there were a couple, but that's the sort of course as well that you're going to three-putt on, to be honest,
Mm. Mm.
with those greens. So it wasn't like I didn't feel like I was putting badly.
Yep.
This one looked like the first part looked like it was going to be an absolutely rapid downhill putt.
Yep.
So I left it about 12 feet short.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yep.
And then the next one
Mm.
also looked like it was going to be incredibly rapid downhill, and it
Mm.
just wasn't.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
finished
And
in the
and and
jaws about 2 inches
certainly,
short.
yeah, and certainly after your experience, say on 18, where
Yeah.
and I know 18's a lot more sloping green than what the fifth is, but yeah, those sorts of experiences throughout your
It,
round have a tendency to make you a bit tentative on some of
yeah.
those putts.
You just got to show a lot of respect to the greens, I think,
Mm.
at Duntry.
Yep.
Um, So the odd three, and look, that's one of those ones that you go, I'm probably going to three putt that 50% of the time at that distance.
Mm. Mm.
Um, so that was okay. I wasn't too upset. It was more the annoyance was catching the sandwich a couple of grooves low. Like
Yep.
that was the shot that cost the shot, not the putt.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So we moved to six. Now six is again a bit of a dog leg to the right. Um, some of the
Yep.
monster hitters can clear that corner. There's a big tree on the corner. Yeah, some people can clear it. I've seen friend of the show, James Morrow, clear that corner.
Yep.
Um, that was impressive.
Yep.
So anyway, I wasn't intending to try to clear the corner, but I attempted to clear the
But you had a
corner.
crack. Excellent.
Not deliberately. I pulled it a little bit. And oh mate. Anyway, it went sort of through the top of that tree.
Yep.
And we were standing on the tee box and we went, oh, I didn't hear anything. This could be a chance. Um, so we got down there and I hadn't cleared the corner.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yep.
But I'd gone close
Mm.
and I was in the rough and I had a line at the green, but I was a little bit further back than what I would have liked to have been. So I was a 7-iron out.
Yep.
And I hit a pretty good 7-iron actually, just onto the basically right hand side of the center of the green. It was a back pin. Um, Bit further from the hole than I thought from when I was standing when I hit the shot. When I got up there,
Yep.
it was a little bit further away than I thought. But hit a really good putt, nearly dropped actually, and then a tap in for par. So
Nice.
that was pretty stress free. So then we move on to seven. So seven, the downhill par three
Yep.
with I think you technically might describe this as a Redan green. Redan green. You're looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about.
I
It's a
have
thing in
absolutely
golf.
no
It's
idea
a
what you're
thing
doing.
it's a thing in golf architecture. It's Redan. Look it up. What it
Right.
means, it's a thin green that runs on a 45-degree angle to the tee box with a bunker along the near side of it protecting it.
Right.
That's a
Yep.
specific
Yep.
golf architectural
Yeah. Yeah.
term.
And there's a reasonable slope
There
long and
is.
left as well,
Yeah.
which just goes down into the tree line, and that's
Yeah.
that's a bit
And
tough
that
to.
was the tree line that I'd been in on the first hole
Yes.
when I hit that
Yes.
one out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So you don't want to go down there. I knew that. So anyway, I hit an 8-iron onto the front edge. It was a frontish pin onto the front edge and pretty easy two putt par
Nice. Nice.
to move on with our lives. 2 holes to play.
Mm.
2 holes to play. So
So what's this? This was so what are you at 9 over? If no,
no,
10
I'm
over.
8 over. 8 over at this point.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm only 2 over because I had the double on one for the second. I'm only 2 over because I had
Oh,
the double on
and then
one
you
and
made
the
birdie.
birdie and the bogey.
Yep.
So I'm 2 over for the second nine. So 2 holes to play. So straight away par 4 on the 8th, our 17th. Hit another really good drive up the right side. Sand wedge onto the green, straight over the flag. Andy Walker thought it was going to suck back and get close, but it just hit and stopped,
Yep.
which left me with a nice little downhill putt from about, I would say, about 12 feet.
Yep.
Downhill, slightly right to left slider. And I slid it just past the left lip.
The slider slid past.
Slider slid past, but that was okay.
Mm.
It was a defensive part, so if it dropped, it
Yep.
would have been a bonus, to be perfectly honest.
Mm.
But it was a tap in pass, so no harm done. So then we were walking to the tee box for our last hole,
Yep.
and at this point, I was on 35 points,
Yep.
which I had not been paying attention to.
Mm.
And the last hole, I did get a shot on
Yeah, I was going to
because
say it's a strong par four.
it's a tough,
The ninth or your 18th. Yeah.
yeah, it's a tough hole. Um, so one of the other boys who was marking my score,
Just happened to mention it.
as we walked up, he went, "Oh, you on all right today? As double bogey, you'll get you 36 points."
Tsar. Excellent. That's what you want to hear.
And I'm like, "Awesome." So the par will get me 38 then.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, but like 36 is a good day out. You only need to make double. Anything better than double's a bonus." It was a genuine attempt at wind up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. So I was determined.
Scraping the bottom at that stage.
Yeah, it was pretty funny though. So I was determined to rub it in and not make a double
Mm.
after that little piece of
Exchange.
repartee.
Mm.
Yeah. So I step up onto the tee box and remember on 12, the smother hook.
Yep.
Yeah, it was the same swing.
Oh.
There's a big smother hook into the right trees,
Mm.
which is a bit ugly.
Yeah, it's not good in there.
And it bounded in and bounded in hard.
Yep.
Well, so I went, oh man. So we took a walk up, had a look around, found my ball, and like it was a chip. It was pretty much a chip out,
Yep.
45 degrees at best, maybe not quite sideways. I could advance it a little bit. And at this point, I started thinking, double will get me 36 points.
So that whole conversation we'd had a bit earlier about being on time, it's just
Yeah.
out. It's
Yeah.
out the door on 18.
Well, it was just as I was standing there, I wasn't hitting the ball at this point. And I went, no. Let's not have these thoughts.
Mm.
I've
Mm.
been so good at this all round. Let's not go there. Let's
Yep.
just focus on the shot at hand.
Yep.
Pull the 7-iron out and just punch it low through the trees and just try and run it up the fairway as best we can.
Mm. Yep.
So that's what I did. Punched it out through the trees, ran it up the center of the fairway, left with about 125 meters to the center of the green.
Yep.
So I pulled out a 9-iron and hit a pretty good 9-iron. Looked all over the flag, but it was about 25 feet short. It was
Yep.
on the green,
Mm.
but a long way from the hole. So we're walking up, 3 of us were walking up towards the ball, and obviously the conversation went to, at this point, so I was on the green for 3, and it went to, well, a 2-putt from his 37 points.
Mm.
To which one of the other boys said, well, 3-putt from his
It's
36.
36. Yeah.
Which I, of course, said, well, a 1-putt from his 38.
Yeah.
So we've got a wide variety of outcomes.
Mm.
So anyway, we went up there, and it is a tricky green. This one, like it slopes pretty hard right to left and
Yep.
back to front at the same time.
Mm.
So I was hitting sort of up the hill, but a bit right to left.
Yep.
Essentially, the putt from about, I reckon, a bit over 25 feet. So stepped up and I lined it up. I read about 2.5 feet of break in it, using my fantastic green reading system.
Yep.
And I pushed it just a little bit, not a big push, but just a little bit of a
Mm.
push.
Yep.
Hit what I thought was pretty good speed. And it held its line pretty well, Andy Walker.
Yeah, right.
Rolled up, looked like it was just passing the left edge of the hole, which is the downhill side of the hole.
Mm.
Ball kind of paused, looked around, and then fell over and dropped in
Nice. Nice.
for a pretty much an unexpected par, which
Yep.
finished on an 8 over 78 for 38 points.
Nice. Nice. So A, broke an 80,
Mm,
B, 38 points.
mm,
What was the rating?
tell you. Um,
Because
so,
there's the handicap has got to have got involved at that point. That's got to be a flag round.
actually, that's a good point you raised. I'm just going into the Golf Australia app because I was actually on 9.7 going
Yep.
into this round.
Mm.
So that round was rated as 7.4, and that drops me to 9.2.
Mm.
You know what's interesting about that
What's that?
is that the cutoff for entries to the New South Wales Country Championships is 9.4 or less,
Ooh, okay.
which is why earlier today I put my entry into the New South Wales Country
Excellent.
Championships
Excellent. Love it.
based off
Love
my
it.
9.2. So we'll see how
Yeah,
that
yeah.
pans out. It may or may
Where,
not stand up. But
when's the country championships?
it is the 20th and 21st of September at Cowra.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not going to work because I'm not in the country.
Yes, that I was aware of. So I didn't trouble you for that one. But and
Mm.
it's only about a bit over an hour away from home. So I won't stay there. I'll drive down. I'll
Yeah, yeah.
commute for the rounds.
It was
Um,
November last year though, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. They've moved it earlier. I don't know why.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Mm.
But
It's a bit
yeah,
disappointing. That was a good event.
it was a good event. It was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But anyway, look, a 78, an 8 over, getting me down to 9.2, moving in the right direction. I was pretty happy with that.
Mm. So what
Happy with
what were your main takeaways?
that. A few things, to be honest. I'll just take you through the strokes gained data
Mm.
for the round. So I'm just getting that up as we speak. Of doing this live. So all up, the round against a scratch handicap was minus 3.54 strokes
Yep.
gained.
Yep.
Pretty good. It's my best recently. Off the tee, I was positive 0.09 shots. So actually not as good as what it's been. And that was to do with the
Mm.
two smother hooks
Yep.
and hitting a couple of drives into the rough. Approaches was minus 0.73.
Mm.
That's the best it's been in a long
Yep.
time,
Yep.
without a doubt. Short game was minus 2.1, which is a bit better than it has been, but similar, a little bit better. And putting was minus 0.8, which is kind of there or thereabouts to where it's
Mm.
been. It's had
Mm.
better days, it's had
Mm.
worse days.
Yep.
So it was pretty solid, to be honest. It was pretty
Mm.
solid golf throughout the bag.
Yep.
The thing that was actually really interesting when I look back on it, was because I hadn't played the course for a while. The last time I'd played it, I was a much worse version of me than I am now.
Yep.
And I remember standing on some of the tee boxes this time around with a whole new set of confidence about where I was going to hit my tee shot versus the
Yep.
last time I played that course, where I
Mm.
was
Mm.
more concerned about not losing it into trouble and
Yep.
various other things. So my outlook about my game on the course has definitely changed.
Yeah,
That was
right.
something.
Yeah.
That was something that stands
Mm,
out.
mm,
Um,
mm.
solid mental approach was the other thing. That was probably the biggest thing. You know, as we
Yep.
said, just staying on time, focusing on the
Mm,
shot at hand. Um, yeah, that was probably the bit that I think was the best element throughout the round. So
mm.
that was quite exciting.
Nice. Nice. Oh, well, it's and look, as we've discussed quite a few times, your improvement over the last 12 months hasn't been reflective of the scores
No,
that you've posted, but I sort of get the feeling that you're getting there and it's starting to change. You're sort of turning that corner where potentially there are some good scores around the corner.
look, I hope so. I feel like a much better golfer than I was, and to be honest with you, that's the important thing. You know,
Mm,
like I'd rather feel like a rock solid higher single digit handicapper than a really shaky 4 or 5
yep.
in a lot of respects.
Mm,
Um, and I think the results have got to follow. But one of the things that I've definitely learned and I think started to accept more and more is that it's more beneficial to focus on like your growth, development, learning, and where your game's at than your
mm,
outcomes of what your scores are or what your handicap is.
yep. Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, even though the game tries to take you in the other direction,
Mm,
it's better if you can focus on the things that you can
yep.
actually do, not the outcomes that you get.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
yeah,
mm.
we'll probably talk about that more in another episode, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think you know that probably learning that lesson as well and applying that has been very beneficial because
Mm,
particularly in a round like this where I wasn't getting too excited or I wasn't getting too down, just playing golf.
yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Sounds simple, really isn't.
No, no, it's not. It's not. And yeah, it's I think that's certainly a skill that needs to be developed over a period of time. It's not something that you just acquire with no effort at all. And
Mm,
it's something that, and again, so we talked about the growth mindset versus fixed mindset, and that's something we're going to cover in the coming episodes.
yeah,
But it's not like, oh, I've got a growth mindset or I've got a fixed mindset. It's a challenge, and you're always sort of adapting between the two.
absolutely, for sure. So it was good. It was fun. It was good. Like it was pretty solid golf, to be honest. Like there was a couple of
Mm,
doubles in it, but they weren't, you know, there was no real disasters and there wasn't really any terrible shots. There was no emotional ups and downs. You know, it was pretty solid golf.
mm, good,
Thanks very
enjoyable.
much. Thanks very much, Duntryleague. See you next
Mm,
time.
yeah, no, nice day, nice round.
Beautiful day. Yeah.
Mm,
So there you go, Andy Walker. That was a day out at Duntry.
very good.
Yeah. Thoroughly recommend it, Pilgrims. If you haven't been there, go check it out. It's a nice
Yeah,
place.
yeah, I agree
Orange
with
is a
that.
good town.
Mm,
Good food and wine. You know,
yep,
let me know when you're coming to visit, and I'll try and hook up around with you.
yeah, yeah, yep, yep. No, plenty to do in Orange.
Nice one. So there you go. So that's it. So next episode, Andy Walker. I think we might dive into answering a topic that one of the pilgrims threw up in the Facebook group. What do
Mm,
you reckon?
yeah, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, we touched on a little bit today, which I thought was very pertinent. And yeah, I think we can expand on that a little bit in the
Mm,
next episode.
mm. Leave that there. It's a bit of a teaser for you, pilgrims. Tune in again
Mm,
next week.
yep, yep.
Hopefully, with no technical issues for Mr. Walker's computer.
No, no. Well, given I've now got a brand new computer, hopefully, yeah, it's
All right.
I'll be smooth sailing at least for the next few years.
Very good. All right. Well, it's late. It's time to get to bed.
Yep.
But in the meantime, Andy Walker, what should everybody consider doing?
Rock out, pilgrims.